fall.
Every year, the high-altitude resort of Afriski in Lesotho plays host to arguably one of South Africa's greatest ever road runners, Gerda Steyn. The 30-year-old has taken the country by storm in only 5 short years of hitting the roads.
And just look how popular she is. The crowd absolutely adores this champion, and how can you not? Taking ultra running in the women's field to another level. We're about to witness an era in ultra running that is second to none in South Africa.
Steyn only started running in 2015 while based in Dubai. She just wanted to experience the Comrades Marathon. Few, though, would have predicted such a meteoric rise to road running dominance. Within 5 years, she had won the 2 Oceans twice and came within a whisker of breaking the 30-year-old record of 5th van der Merwe. She decimated a quality field in the 2019 Comrades and took a whopping 9 minutes off the previous record to become the first ever woman to break 6 hours on the up run. But it was her 2:27:29 clocking at the 2019 New York Marathon that saw her qualify for the Olympic Games in Tokyo.
Cheers.
Beautiful day.
So, what's on the program for today?
1 hour easy after get the legs on the move after yesterday's big long run. So yeah, we're just gonna go out for 30 minutes and back 30 minutes, so it should be good fun. The Olympic marathon has actually come into my mind quite recently. I remember a couple of years ago, maybe in 2017, someone asked me whether I think that I'll one day be able to go to the Olympics, and I laughed, and my response was, I'm sure that I'll make the Olympic team if one day they decide to put 100 kilometers into the Olympics. So no, the Olympics has not always been on my plan. I've only started thinking about it a couple of years ago and thinking that I might be able to make the Olympic qualifying time. And then last year, they even made the Olympic qualifying time a lot faster than in the past. But still, I thought I've got a chance. And yes, last year in November, I gave it my best shot at the New York Marathon, and I managed to run well within the qualifying time. So here I am, already qualified for the Olympic Marathon, which is a great honor, and I almost can't believe how fast things have changed and how quickly this wild dream became a reality for me. I do have a massive passion for the ultras. It's where my running career started, which sounds a little bit bizarre, but that's just how it panned out for me. But to be dead honest with you, on a regular daily basis in training, in everyday life, I don't really see myself as an ultra marathon athlete. I see myself as a marathon runner. I think I train like marathon runners mostly. Even when I'm preparing for the ultras, I still do all the speed sessions and tempo sessions like marathon runners would do. The only difference is that I don't come from a shorter distance background. So yes, my training do differ slightly when I'm preparing for a marathon, standard marathon distance, as opposed to the ultras, but it only differs in the fact that my long runs are often quite a bit longer for the ultra marathon preparation, but other than that my routine stays the same, and I think that's also what contributes to the success that I've had even in the shorter distances, shorter than the marathon, because I still keep the intensity high even when I'm preparing for the ultras.
With the threat of the coronavirus or COVID-19, Gerda was keeping close tabs on what was happening in the world of sport and if the Olympics would go ahead.
I read the news, I follow the stories, the development of the coronavirus, and it is scary, it's threatening, and I also travel quite a bit because I spend a lot of time abroad, and when I'm on the airports it's quite scary to be there at the moment. Everybody looks so scared and walking around with masks, and that's only just a handful of people that are flying at the moment. I think the aviation in in general is taking a big knock because of this. So I do think that it is concerning. We've seen many important sport events around the world that has been cancelled even now. So it differs from rugby, indoor athletics, all kinds of meets have been cancelled already. So yes, it is concerning. It's very hard as an athlete to put all your efforts into one box, and it's not even to say it's going to happen. So from a business point of view, I feel like I do have to keep my options open. I have to be open-minded about this. I'm going to focus on my day-to-day training. I'll be doing my best to stay fit for whatever comes in later in the year. I'm sure that the right decision will be made later in the year, but all I can do at the moment is just focus on my day-to-day training.
Not being an out-and-out marathoner in the traditional sense, Gerda though is looking forward to the marathon and feels it could be the kind of course that does suit her.
Yes, it is quite interesting. I think if it goes forward, it will be a very interesting race because of the fact that it's held in Japan. They have moved the marathon to Sapporo, which is a city higher north in Japan, and that's meant to be a few degrees cooler, but we're not talking about cold. It's just maybe closer to 30 than to 40 degrees Celsius. So yes, I think the race itself will be quite interesting and different. So for me, if I compare myself to the world's best marathon runners at the moment, I wouldn't stand a chance. If we all stand on the start line on a flat, fast, cool course, I think I won't stand a chance. But I think a race like a marathon in Sapporo in August will suit me. So I think the stronger, more powerful athletes will come forward. I'm not talking about a win, but definitely maybe top 20 or closer to the time, see where I am, and more. I definitely think that a course like that will suit me as an athlete personally better.
Long-time coach Nick Bester has made sure she is on a marathon program in preparation for the Olympics.
Yeah, we definitely adapt training. Marathon training is totally different than comrades training or ultra distance training. Ultra distance training, you need a strong runner. Marathon, you need a fast runner. So that also the training is geared towards speed. While when she was training for the marathon, and after that she just switched to more longer intervals, more gym work, more cross training. That's very important for my athletes because of to preventing injuries. We believe that we're running only once a day, not twice a day. The rest of the sessions consist out of cycling, hiking, especially in the mountains with a backpack and a couple of weights on your back, swimming and gym work.
I have adapted a little bit. I think it comes from the fact that I've realized that my improvement comes from when I'm pushing myself on the track and on speed preparation. I do long runs. I haven't done a long run this year since yesterday. Was my longest run since last year, Comrades. And again, I just sort of, when I have a long run, I will just go out and it feels so easy to me. So, you know, that's not really what pushes me so hard or where I really find I have to dig deep. It's on the speed. So yes, I have adapted my training to fit in with a marathon preparation, and I will keep doing this because this is what works for me and this is where I see the most improvement.
Gerda can regularly be found in the high altitude of the Lesotho mountains, where she will undergo weeks of altitude training in preparation for the season ahead. Find strength in the solitude of the mountains.
Afri-ski is an amazing training ground for me. I started coming here 2 years ago. So Afri-ski is above 3,000 meters of elevation, altitude, which is almost, it's like severe high altitude training. It's not just altitude training. So I find that it really aids my fitness. It just puts me on a total new. When I return to lower altitude, I just feel like running feels so easy. My heart rate comes down. But it's tricky. It's a big sacrifice that you have to make to come here. There's nothing going on here. It's literally Afri-ski, which is amazing. It's beautiful scenery. There's a lovely restaurant. Our accommodation is good, but it is a sacrifice because it is very lonely. You can get very lonely, and everything is affected by the altitude, so you don't sleep very well. Your body, it takes a long time to adapt. But you know, I've picked the fruit from the sacrifices, and that's why now that when I come back, I feel like I adapt easier, just because of the fact that I've been here quite a few times. So we are very fortunate that Afri-Ski lets us stay here. It is an amazing training ground. We go hiking every day, go to different places every day. It's a real experience to be here, so I will definitely keep coming back. It takes quite a long time to adapt. I find only after 4 or 5 days I feel like I'm myself when I'm running. My heart rate will still be elevated after 4 days of living here, but I just feel within myself after quite a few times, after quite a few days. And then also it is very risky to train too hard here, because you can push yourself over the limit, and then the recovery is it just takes so much longer. So you have to be very careful if you're here, not overtrain and push yourself above your limits. So yeah, there are quite a few lessons to be learned, and you can only learn it if you see how your own body adapts and reacts to this altitude. But again, it's every time I've made the sacrifice, I've really seen a great improvement.